Colin has called. Colin, good evening. What's your question?
Good evening. My wife's car, I had 4 tyres fitted.
Colin, could you go a little closer to the microphone on your phone?
Yes, can you hear me better?
Slightly better, thank you.
Okay, sorry, I'll trouble with that hand gel on the mobile phone next day, but there you are. 4 tyres fitted, winter tyres. A few weeks, up to 6 weeks actually, after they were fitted, the car wasn't used much because my wife was in furlough most of that time. But when she did use it, driving me back from work, the rear wheel detached, and it transpires that they didn't do the nuts up, basically. Now, the following morning, I found 2 of the wheel nuts in the road. One of the studs is snapped off from the wheel hub, and the other one was a locking nut. And there's an extensive amount of damage done to the inside of the wheel, the brake discs.
I'm not surprised. It must have been terrifying, Colin. Was anyone hurt?
No, fortunately, nobody was hurt.
Thank goodness for that.
Had it been on a motorway or whatever, I think it would have been a very, very different story. Now, what I did, the vehicle was recovered, fortunately not too far from where I live, and the following day I rang the garage responsible. I asked them to call me back. In fact, I asked to speak to the governor there, and he was unloading a lorry. I didn't get a call back. I said I'd call them back.
Colin, I don't need to hear every conversation, Colin. Just tell me the question you want me to answer.
Right. I don't have a detailed receipt. I have a Visa receipt for the cost of the tyres. Mm-hmm. I have had to take it. They had 2 weeks with which to advise me or fix the car. They hadn't done it, so I took it elsewhere to a reputable garage. They have fixed it. The net result of all of this, without my own time, is cost me basically about £1,500.
Wow.
I think they've got off lightly. Hopefully they'll pay. Currently they're refusing to pay, and they said they're going to seek legal advice. What do I do?
Sue them. You've called the right show for this one, Colin. Sue them. Okay. They have failed to use reasonable care and skill. If they fail to reattach the bolts properly, or reattach the nuts, they have failed to use reasonable care and skill. They have an obligation to do so under the Consumer Rights Act. There's other legislation that requires them to make sure what they do is safe. You will have a rock-solid claim against them, Colin. Sue them in the small claims court. Also, you mentioned you'd used a Visa card. Is that Visa debit or Visa credit?
Probably debit.
Okay, if it's debit, it's slightly harder. You might be able to get the money back from what you paid them, although it's less clear about getting consequential losses. The cost of getting it fixed elsewhere, the full £1,500. If you used a credit card, you'd be in a much stronger position there, unfortunately. Okay. But you've just got an absolute black and white, open and shut, clear-cut case against this garage. You sound like they've been grossly negligent. And if they're saying they need to go and speak to their lawyers over £1,500, they know they're in trouble. Because garages are not best known for spending money on lawyers if they think they've got any way of fobbing you off.
Okay. Two options I said to the chap was, one, why don't you use your public liability insurance? And he said, no way. And secondly, I said, give the garage a ring, another local garage, reputable garage that fixed it. Any questions, fire it at them. And he again refused to do it. So it's a nice chap and all that. I don't want to fall out with him, but unfortunately, he's playing hardball with me, and that's it's not on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. So sue them. Do you have any household insurance that covers legal expense insurance?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check.
Have a look at that, because it's possible you do, and that way your insurance company will appoint solicitors for you. But it's a small claim. You can do it yourself. Small claims are for under £10,000. And as I say, if you issue proceedings, I suspect they're going to fold, because they all know perfectly well they haven't got a defence to any of that. And the lesson there is don't play hardball with Colin, because if you do, you get sued.